The Junior Fellowship is one of the 3 ways that Engineers Without Borders Canada invests in people.
One of the most important lessons that I learned was the value of communication. It was vital for work, communicating between teams, even fostering support. It opened doors that otherwise would be closed.
Around a month into the internship, we had a retreat for Kumasi Hive. This is when we saw the energy and the livelihood of all the co-workers there. They were so loud and so vibrant. Even when we were playing sports or just cheering, or even at games that we played to boost our morale, you could really see the energy that they had.
The other junior fellows and I got in a habit of exercising regularly. So not only were we jet lagged in the beginning, but we figured that if we set a routine and we stuck to it by helping each other out, then we'd get through the 4 months by being active as well. One of our co-workers, Prince Panini, took us to his no BS gym. It was a 20 by 8 foot flat with a couple beaten up cable machines, a squat rack, what's left of a squat rack, some 1.5 inch poles, and then transmission and motor gears. And that were the weights. And it cost 10 cents. And so that was an amazing thing to experience. I don't think I'd ever experienced that in Canada, but 10 cents for a great workout before work, that sounds good to me. The greatest takeaway this summer was having the opportunity to talk to coworkers, talk to locals, and even talk to the other JFs about their motivations and their passions. The stories that we shared were probably the most inspirational thing I heard over the 4 months. Even just hearing from other junior fellows from many different parts of Canada, it was interesting to see that we thought in very different ways. And then when we talked to locals, there is a language barrier, of course. Learning the language helped a lot. But talking to locals meant that we were able to get the things that we need, like fruits, vegetables, and just strike a conversation.
What was really interesting was, with a beard, longer hair, and especially when I wasn't with my other junior fellows, I did not look like a Canadian. And so there were several times when I had my identity questioned. The interesting part of that came when I found myself listening to Ghanaian music more often than I would Canadian music sometimes, or just music that I liked in general, whether it was classical or some sort of acoustic music. It made me question why I wasn't listening to the other half of my identity, the other portion of my identity, my Tamil Canadian identity, being Tamil. I was neglecting the other side of me, but I was so willing to embrace new culture, new music, new language when I was in another country. Granted, I don't listen to Ghanaian music and I don't have a lot of influence of Ghana with me in Canada. To being Tamil is something I've had my entire life, and I've had ample opportunity to embrace it. And so what I did when I came back was I made a plan to learn more about my ancestry, my heritage, and also to embrace what it's become in Canada, whether it was through dance, whether it was through music, certainly through food, and certainly with history.
The Junior Fellowship in its entirety, the process at least, it looks like this. It starts with an online application made by university chapters, and then interviews. After the interviews, which is set up like a mock scenario, if the candidates are successful, they have another interview with members at our national office, headquartered in Toronto. Finally, there's an interview with social ventures. This is the opportunity for social ventures and for the potential JFs to finally meet each other and learn more about the other person. If the candidate is successful, and they usually are, they will then start their training as a junior fellow. And that's all within 2 months. The next 4 months are foundational online training.